Hello, everybody, and welcome to the webinar here, where we're going to show you the new portal for OffsiteDataSync and our partner program. It's top of the hour. I'm going to give folks another few minutes to log in, and then we'll get started. So I'll be back with you in just another minute or two when more folks get in. All right, great. Let's get started. So thanks, everybody, again for joining today. This is the introduction and launch of our new partner portal. And I think a lot of you on the phone today will find this really helpful. A better way to manage the customers that you bring into OffsiteDataSync services, and also to interact with us so that we have a close working relationship and can transfer information, data assets, all sorts of things that are important to the services that we offer you. So again, thanks, and without further ado, let me get started. The first thing I'm going to do is log into our portal. And again, if it's been a while since you've been there, it's services.offsitedatasync.com, and you'll be prompted to log in. I have a demo account here set up, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit sign in. And you'll see that the interface looks similar, but there's been some new features, a little bit of a facelift as far as that goes. But you're going to notice on the left-hand side, you have a much more extensive menu. So what I'm going to do today is just generally walk through the menu, starting with the dashboard, and kind of going down the left-hand side to show you what's new and what you can expect with the partner portal. So this looks much the same, but there's some enhancements to it. First of all, just to be sure, everybody should have an NFR backup repository. So that's a not for resale backup repository for internal use for demos, any kind of lab environments, things like that. So you can see the status and what's going on with that, what data center you're in, all the normal things. The second box down, or the second section down, is a brand new piece to us. So it's essentially where you can register deals. The importance of this section, of course, is that it's pre-customer status. And in 2019, in fact, a couple of weeks, you're going to have an announcement and then a personal reach out by our channel manager. And essentially what you're going to hear on that conversation is that some of the partner margins that we give you today are going to be incentivized by deal registration. So we've rearranged the partner program, but not to go too far down that road, just an intro as far as what that's going to be. And the portal here is supporting that. So essentially, this is where you will register deals that you're working on or your sales teams are working on, and it's pretty intuitive. So let me give you a demo of how that works. You'd simply click on deal registration, and I'll give you an example. I guess I'll use the ones you see here I've tested. I'll call it Matt Company and an email address. First name, last name, pretty standard stuff. In fact, I'll use autofill, prospect, customer, address, all the normal things you would expect for registering a deal. Stage name, these are fairly intuitive, but you'll have everything from a fit assessment, which is really an initial jump into a potential engagement. Proposal, price quote, as soon as either one of those go out. Negotiation review, which means it's under contractual review, has gone a step further than just pricing. And then, of course, closed won, closed lost, or closed dead, so that you can really track the progress of any kind of deals that you are working in here. Of course, you want to put a close date or projected close date. So I'll just pick the 31st of this year. Services that are being proposed. So here I'll go with an O365 backup for, let's leave it the default 250 users. Of course, it's just as easy to take the dial up and down. And then a contract length. So you have 12 and 36-month contracts you can choose from. And then the amount auto-populates. So a very easy way to put in customer information and then the product set that you're proposing or pitching for them. If you want to give deal information, you can say, this is for Acme Company. or Matco, I guess is what I called it before. But I'll go ahead and save that, and you'll notice that that will populate in my registered deals section. And voila. So you'll see that the new deal is up. You have some details as far as what you typed in, what stage it's in, and all the appropriate things. Now, what's nice is you can see on this menu here, essentially when you click it, you can log a new call or you can change the state. Essentially what that's going to do is allow you to change from fit assessment to proposal, negotiation, closed won. So really the sales stage. And log call list, it's really nice because you can essentially say, okay, I've called the customer or emailed prospect, I guess I'll call it, and an update. So yeah, let's say I did it today. Conversation today, deal is moving forward next week. So I'll save that, and you'll see the call log message and the activities in place. So it's a great way for you to register deals, to keep up on your activity, to keep us posted and help you through the process. And like I mentioned, this is going to go hand in hand with our 2019 partner program that's going to have a piece of it or a component of the margin that we have carved out today, dependent on deal registration, obviously a really important part of the process. Once a deal is registered, of course, a key component of it is to, and you can change the state both with the menu here or on the details button. So if I just simply went to closed won, it's going to ask you a couple more pieces of information. So I'll say okay. And let that finish up. And what I'm doing here is close winning it. And you're going to see in the lower left-hand side, I will go ahead and click provision service, as you can see here, and I'll close the deal. So it's close winning the deal, and service is going to be automatically provisioned as soon as I do that. There was a caveat message up there which essentially said this is provisioning live active service. So it's a little bit of a warning to you, the partner, to say we're doing a live setup of this service, and billing, of course, would then commence. So close win it when, of course, you have a signed contract. That's going to be an important piece. And once you do that, the deal essentially will show up in your My Customers section, and you will be moving forward. So you can see that down below. And from that standpoint, a deal is moved from registered to My Customers, and you can essentially dig in and look at any of the details that you entered previously. So the backup plans will pull from the service that you put in place. You can see from that standpoint, username, password of the customer, data center, gateway, all the things you'll need to set up service. And then, of course, you have an overview of all the services that are provisioned for that customer, whether it's a Veeam backup service, Office 365, Veeam replication service, Zerto replication. So you can see all the different services from your customer when they actually are closed won. So the flow essentially works like that. You have a registered deal, you put it in, you follow the status, you close win it, and when you do, they become a customer. And this is very familiar because it's something that was on our previous version of the partner portal, where you can get in there and essentially provision deal or see what the deals are that are provisioned and all the services that are provisioned for the customer. So good way to kind of run through the flow and life cycle of a prospect to customer. So that was a brand new piece and a big one for us. There's also, you're going to see an assets section. Assets are essentially any kind of materials that we put out there for you. What that means is marketing materials, promos, calculators, anything that we can communicate to you as far as how we do business together and how we can help you close deals and drive more prospects inbound. So the assets function is going to be important to you. Obviously, this is all. There's a favorite section which does exactly what it says, and then anything recent. So if you've recently clicked on something that you want to find quickly, you can just click on the recent and it should be good. And then as we populate more and more in the portal, you'll see today there's not much in here at all because we still need to populate it, but you can search by name. So that function is going to be important just to help get you through things pretty quick. Deals, again, this is another way to look outside of your dashboard at the deals you have registered, and you can see by page that you can see all your deals that are in front of you. Pricing is something that is a new piece as well. So if you go on here, some of you may be familiar with this calculator. It's a take on what we've had in a couple of other locations. You'll notice you can configure any kind of services you're looking for here, whether it's O365, DRAS, Cloud Backup, or archive storage. It's as simple as dragging the slider for quantity. And if you want to get a little more specific, you can use a plus or minus, and then you can choose the contract term. So storage size, again, let's go with, 10 terabytes and a contract term of 36 months. Cloud Backup, let's use a round number of 25 and 36 months. Archive storage, let's just go to the top, 100 terabytes, contract term of 24 months. And then when you hit calculate price, you can also, you see that I clicked on it, the contracts suite. So silver, gold, and platinum, and calculate the price. You see the price for every one of the services that you requested. So really nice, easy way to get pricing from OffsiteDataSync. There's different versions of pricing floating around from us that you may or may not have. In former versions or iterations, we'd send out a spreadsheet, but today that's no longer needed. This pricing tool is going to save the back and forth of updating spreadsheets and sending them out, or sending out other price lists. So when a new product is added or if new services are added, you're going to find them right in here. So it's a really nice way to configure and go from that standpoint. I know a little bit further down the road on our roadmap is to price a service out, and then next to a close button or somewhere down here will be register this deal, so you can get pricing available, hit register, and it's going to take you right to the registration screen with all these products in place. So some more enhancements by adding this feature in here. So it's an easy way to get pricing and an easy way to come to register deals that are associated with the pricing and product sets that you choose. So as I keep going down here, we've added another functionality tool. One of the common questions we'd have from partners is, hey, can you help me project or estimate how much storage is going to be taken by a certain data footprint for a customer, whether it's backup or DRAS or whatever the service might be. So we entered in a restore point calculator. We've built this, and it may look familiar. We had some help from our friends at Veeam building this. So essentially, if you choose some of the preset things, if you say incremental weekly, for example, with an active full, that'll set the presets here. I'll also tweak things a little bit. Let's say we use 5 terabytes, so 5,000 gigabytes. Let's go with 7 restore, or you know what, 14 is good to give you a little bit better picture of what's going on. 14 dailies. I'll leave it with a expected change rate of 10%, and it's about a 2-to-1 dedupe with backup running every day, 1 year. And I'll start the simulation, and you can see here what you get. And you can see the full VBKs, incremental VIB files that are generated. So essentially, you can have some kind of projection of how much storage is going to be needed overall to meet this type of retention schedule with 5 terabytes at the specs that we put on board there. So you can expect about 15 or so terabytes to be consumed if the full footprint and full retention schedule is met. So just a nice way to help you go through any kind of restore point calculations. The rest of it's fairly simple. Support, you're probably familiar with, where of course you can click and communicate with our engineering support team and work through any cases you have open. You can open a new case. You can also request a C drive, and this is a new feature. Previously, we'd have to send an e-sign agreement, but with it incorporated in the portal, that enabled a couple of new options for you just to go ahead and request a C drive, and I'll show you what that looks like. If you make that request, you can choose the customers that you have on file, what shipping address you're at for them, and the approximate size of the C drive. So always estimate a little bit bigger. So if it's a 9 terabyte customer, I'd put a 10 terabyte drive. You wouldn't want to go with 8. And then we can select some different connection methods, USB, Ethernet, and 10 gig copper. So if I send that off, you'll see that it's a simple way to request a C drive for your customer, and that'll be overnighted to the address that you selected, and then an invoice will be generated and added to your monthly invoice from OffsiteDataSync. So That is the support function. The rest of this is going to be a breeze. Downloads is essentially a section where we can either drop files for you to get, whether they're log files or any other things that you're working on with the tech team. We can also, in here, find anything along the lines of a restore, like an O365 restore that's available for download. So a PST or anything of that nature, this is a section that you'd find it in, just depending on where you are in our portal and what you're doing with the service. Last but not least is our Knowledgebase. Again, this is an external link to our Knowledgebase at our website, but a good way to find out any kind of information you might be looking for. So that's essentially it. That wraps it up. Some nice new features in our portal, and I think some things that our partner community is really going to benefit from. So if there's not any questions, and I haven't seen anything in the chat windows or otherwise, then I'll give you a few minutes back in your day. And if you do have questions, please reach out to partners@OffsiteDataSync.com. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Thanks, and have a nice day.